This is Scott with Michigan Pool News, and I'm with Andy, and we're talking about media changes and why you do them, when you do them, do you have to do them, those kinds of things, and maybe we'll talk a little bit about some glass or alternative media like zeolite or one of the others. So, and we actually have some media out of I would say, a dirty filter.
Well, yeah, the media in itself, the sand is in good shape. The problem is you have the hair and lint that gets entangled into the sand and doesn't come out. And this hair and lint gets into a ball and it ends up trapped in the sand and it won't ever come out, which in turn connects, or the bacteria collects into it, and anything else that happens to float in during a backwash. Normally on backwash, this is supposed to float out through the top of the tank and into the sewer. Well, as it gets plugged and clogged, this doesn't backwash out. The sand becomes oily, which in turn holds everything in a little bit tighter.
Doesn't it start to channel too at some point when it gets hard?
Well, the sand will get hard if your water balance is in the scaling mode. This can actually get hard, almost like a rock, and it'll actually open up voids right through the sand so that the water goes through the void instead of through the sand. Every couple of years you want to have the sand checked.
They can clean off the top of it a little bit.
Yeah, you can remove the hair and the lint and the buds and the pine needles that happen to get in there, but if it starts getting into the bedding, you're going to have to remove it because you can't remove all of it.
Why change it?
If the sand is clogged and you can feel that there's clogged lint and debris down in the media, if it's oily to where it sticks together, because you can't clean it, you can try using a degreaser for the filter. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Or if it gets really rusty. The other part of it is when it gets old, the sand becomes polished down and it doesn't have any rough edges
It gets
left.
soft?
No, it doesn't get soft.
Just doesn't catch debris like it should.
It doesn't catch the debris, but also the rough edges of the sand is what polishes the water. And as it gets used, the rough edges get worn down by water velocity, and it's not as rough to clean the water.
Is that why the glass media is getting to be kind of pronounced in areas? Is because it stays sharp?
It lasts longer, and the edges stay sharp.
It actually reads that you can actually chemically clean the glass media, and you don't need to replace it as much as sand media. So, and then they have the zeolites, which are almost absorbent medias, right? Like kitty litter almost.
Similar to kitty litter, it actually pulls out the ammonias that are in the water, which is your combined chlorine. With the zeolites, you have to clean that at least once a year, if not maybe a couple of times
they got
a year.
Like a shock it or something, don't you?
You boil out. You actually remove and clean out the pores of the material, the zeolite.
So it can hold more again.
So it's now open again, and the water passes through the material, not just around the material.
Well, thanks, Andy. I appreciate it. And you need to check your media every couple of years and take a look at it, see if it needs to be changed. Thanks for viewing Michigan Pool News.